Rolling. Amazing, wonderful. Well, hello everyone and welcome. My name is Sara Matson. It gives me great joy tonight to celebrate the Goat City Press Summer Series with some truly fantastic writers. Tonight we're going to be hearing from Laura Andrea, Evan Williams, Ben Niespodziany, Evan Nicholls, Amy Wang, Bob Sykora, and myself, Sara Matson. The Ghost City Press Summer Series is a digital event from Microchap in your inbox for free every day over the summer. If you're able, please consider supporting this really awesome series at ghostcitypress.com, where you can sign up for the summer series and also support the writers directly. Ghost City Press authors receive 100% of their donations. So when you love what you hear tonight, consider making a monetary donation. Just want to shout out the editors of this year's series, Stefan Lawrence, Jack Hoffman, Angelo Minaj, and John Connolly for publishing all of us and making this grad reading possible. I'm really pumped to be here tonight. And just to jump right in, I'll start us off so that way I can focus on everybody's awesome work. So I am Sara Matson, she, her. I have poetry in Bone Bouquet, Impressible Cast, Pink Plastic Press, and elsewhere. My full-length book of poetry, Personal Fashion, from Swallowtail Press, is available to purchase directly through me. And my chapbook, Electric Grandma, is available from Another New Calligraphy. My microchap from Ghost City Press is called Teenage Horror Nostalgia. And it's scheduled to come out a week from today, but whenever it's out in the world, I'm super excited to share it with you. I live in Chicago with a couple other awesome folks, with my husband and my cats. I tweet as Skeletor Writes, because I just never got over my He-Man obsession from childhood. And my poetry, more of my poetry can be found at newspaces.co/Sara Matson. So my microcap Teenage Horror Nostalgia is rooted in pop culture movies that I really like, body horror, nostalgia, weird theme songs, and definitely Keanu Reeves. So my first poem tonight is called Ultimate Rush, and it is inspired by the 1991 film Point Break. Bareback shoulders sprawled like a satin bedsheet. Oily skin wings in repose, your saltwater pools in my belly button as you elbow my sleeping jaw. We have the same haircut despite the years between us, and we each deeply crave the foamy white caps. Contemplation as mantra, bullet belt as fashion statement. You saved me and them over and over again, peace through superior firepower. When the camera scrolls and you nudge me with glee, exposed cock's expectation, golden mound burned polyester, only silk striation, muscle clutching invisible feathers. Pan crop, effortless dip, valley accent, glides past the gorgeous lie of eager t-shirt smears, death or life hung by wax, blinking over breath, surfing with perverse-bodied, extra-dimensional board. Tall in the kindness of his hands, tongues wagging inside the tube, I've always wanted to be that type of girl. Babe. The correct term is babe. My next poem tonight is inspired by the 1988 television series Garfield and Friends. And this poem is called Normal in Spanish is Thelma. Gasp backwards, impossible remembrance, naked cigarette filter tucked. My stained incisors lurch me forward. Somewhere else, he's ironing and I'm crying baking lasagna. One day we'll forgive ourselves, probably. And until then, it's just stains. Casual backdrop of crunchy veins and snowy driveways. fresh chive or chewed gum, short skirts without intention, 2 pair of tights stretched over my desperate need to keep you close. The tenacity of my sadness haunts me. Bleeds, a wound getting everywhere. It's in my hair, all over the tub. It's standing, tilted in the corner, wearing my Garfield sleep shirt. Chin pimples, muttering a dialect I can't recognize. My internal monologue is voiced by Lorenzo Music. Sleep paralysis, a demon I've never had, but always wanted. I can't understand many things, but will always be grateful for loyalty or an eggshell with long legs, head in the sand, inspired by suburban address, 2 people and a synthesizer. And my final poem tonight is inspired by the 1991 comedy Drop Dead Fred, which rewatching as an adult is a horror film. It's absolutely terrifying. And this poem is called Hi, Snot Face. Ancestral trauma spread like a blush across all my cheeks, dystopian childhood grieving, hope as sympathetic beep, or the kind of curl so thick and tight it can't be brushed. Admiration of my body comes from my constant strain to grasp the future self that was lost and the apothocathartic jar, buzzing in sound, but visual as rapture and always earthy in scent. Love those breaking noises. Blank record sleeves are like words, placeholders for a day. A light shines through hollow bones, and the kaleidoscopic image is too suggestive to whisper down the generational thread. Besides, that's not how pigeons do it. Who is my imaginary friend now that I'm old and still sad? Not a man, not a painful childhood comedy, not a 20-something playing a high school quarterback, not attraction burned into our collective meat. My imaginary friend wears boxy neon suits and writes my name like a ghost tells a secret, sharply. Eventually, a sudden pain I fear will never stop sings toward my face, melting the sensation down the bridge of my nose. Mom says, rub your tongue to the hollow roof to stop the anguish. Why do we suffer when our crocodile snouts are frozen in water, defying all that holy bullshit in each calculated breath? Active evolution as pickle bump brilliance. Did you try the tongue thing? I close my eyes and it's MS Paint. Teenage horror nostalgia and the sleep disease standing in my kitchen makes my blood sour. Or maybe that's just what my blood tastes like. Thank you so much. I am Sara Matson. Thank you. Please join me in welcoming our next fantastic reader, Laura Andrea. Laura Andrea is a writer and educator from Carolina, Puerto Rico. They hold an MFA in creative writing from the University of Texas at El Paso. Her work can be found in the Rio Grande Review, Acentos Review, and the Winnow, among others. Gender Bi is their first poetry chapbook. You can also read her Monster Fucker column at the Final Girl Bulletin Board. She's always looking for a good park to read, write, and divinate in. Please welcome Laura.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Sarah. So these first 3 couple poems I'm going to read, they're called Offspring 1, 2, and 3. So Offspring 1. I have not yet read a poem that describes my mother, who bangs my locked bedroom door if I'm not glued at the frame and after asks if I'm happy. She is perpetually terrified of getting walked in on, forgets that when I wore Groucho glasses at 3 years old, she and my father locked me out of the apartment. I was not their daughter, a joke. Offspring 2. I order an Angus burger and a dark beer. My father orders an Angus burger and a dark beer. Like father, like son, he jokes at the waiter. I've stopped correcting my parents' English when they visit. I don't know if there's much to correct. My graduation dress is hot pink and poofy. My mother will spend the evening ironing it, so she corrects him. Like daughter. My father says he doesn't remember calling me a bad daughter. A bad, bad, bad daughter. My father posts on Facebook how proud he is of me. The cap and gown obstruct my new favorite dress. Offspring 3. I am Dustpan, beloved, eldest daughter. This next poem is called Elegy for Supernatural Lost Boys, after Supernatural, the TV show, of course, and Lost Boys, the film, of course. So, boys with younger brothers named Sammy are terrified of being monstrous. They'd be such good monsters, excel even. Monstrosity melts right off them and drips into a girl's mouth, a girl they could definitely love. She can never save him, yet he must be saved. When monsters are saved, they echo in their pseudo-sexual boyfriend's bones. Snapped, ground, or kneeling at a grave makes no difference. Staying stays the same. And finally, this is kind of like a list kind of poem, and it's called She, They, El. 1. Teach intro to English. 2. At a Catholic university. 3. Learn to swallow God. 4. Eat what you are. 5. Discover that Elohim El. 6. Accept that prayer works with virgins. 7. Remember El and how you loved El and how El didn't know how you haven't talked since you put the Caribbean between you, understanding an El almost. 8. Piensa que él se burlaría de ti por tu crisis de género y te corregiría por tu crisis de diáspora. 9. Fuck him. 10. Write enough. Diasporic gender poems in a mango color scheme, and make sure to leave in the rot. Thank you.
Laura, that was fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing with us tonight. I'm excited to introduce our next wonderful reader, Evan Williams. Evan Williams is a Chicago-based writer whose work appears in Diagram, Pleiades, and Joyland, among others. He is the author of the inaugural CAD chapbook, Claustrophobia Surprise. With Ben Niespodziany and Evan Nicholls, he constitutes 1/3 of the editorial brain behind the temporary prose poetry journal, Obliterat. He's on Twitter at Evan Squilliams, EvanSquillams. Please welcome Evan.
Thank you so much. I am going to read one poem to start that is from the chapbook that Ben and Evan and I just published. This one's called There Has Been a Murder. There's been a murder. Last Friday night at medieval times, the Red Knight killed the Blue Knight. Choreography error. The Red Knight swung a halberd meant to be blocked by the Blue Knight's sword. Instead, the Blue Knight went red in the head, was carted off the field. A middle-aged man whistled through his mutton mouth. A group of children reenacted the scene. The Blue Knight's wife waited for him to come back to bow. This next one is from a project that I'm in the middle of. These next two are new, actually. And this is sort of like just a very, very, very long poem. This is an excerpt from it. And it's the whole project is called Nothing Happens Next, and it looks like us. The world's largest pistachio is a memorial to its sculptor's deceased father. I stood in front of it once. I thought it was a touching tribute. There was a gift shop alongside it that sold pistachio ice cream. I bought a pistachio cone. I thought I could hold a model of the family's grief this way. Inside of the world's largest pistachio is the world's smallest pistachio farm. The sculptor and his father both live there in secret, eating gift shop ice cream. In Kansas, the woman who owns the world's largest collection of the world's smallest versions of the world's largest things now owns a miniaturized version of the family's pistachio grief. It's really just a regular pistachio, but the grief is implied as the other side of any whole is implied. Stepping inside, I pull the world through the way I came. All right, and this next one has a little bit of a technical element to it that I'm going to try to pull off as best I can. So bear with me if it doesn't work and we'll move through it. But the poem itself is called "I Am Afraid That You Will Not Laugh." An angry person kicked down my door. It is splintered and sputtering. In its honor, I spend the whole day writing about doors. I can do this because I do not have a job or a family. I'm wide open. I go into the city to find doors so that I can observe them. My study is anthropological because I like the word and the way its activity describes me. Description is like a door when it accounts for two sides of a coin. When I find a door, I knock on it. I write down every possible answer to a knock-knock joke. Were I to read them to the door, I would have to know Morse code. It's lucky that I do. The phrase, "when one door closes, another opens," suggests that every door has a partner door. Like soulmates, these doors are in love with one another. They make love by performing a series of openings. It's all very vulnerable. Or it suggests that every door is really two doors. The door opens onto duality. I understand that I can be two things at once if I am both the cause and the effect of my own duplicity. I approach an elevator. I compose a treatise on the spatio-temporal logics of a door that is responsible for many rooms. Writing it was easy, but reading it confuses me, so I burn it. In a doorway with no door, I contemplate the meaning of absence. It feels wrong to be present while I do this. I leave the doors by using a door. Philosophically, this is not groundbreaking, but anthropologically, it speaks to my observational acuity as well as my entanglement with my subject. I type up my notes and use them to apply for a very, very large financial grant. In my application, I say things like, I will always have two sides to consider, and while we understand the causal relationship between one door and another, we still do not know what is the relationship between a door and a window. I am awarded the very large financial grant with which I purchase an extremely ornate door. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Evan, for that rad reading. I'm thrilled to introduce our next fantastic reader, Benjamin Niespodziany. Benjamin Niespodziany's writing has appeared in Fence, Fairy Tale Review, Hobart, and others. Along with being featured in the Wigleaf Top 50, his writing has been nominated for the Pushcart Prize, Best of the Net, and Best Microfiction. He's released 2 chapbooks inspired by film, a collaborative chapbook with friends, and his debut full-length poetry collection will be out in November with OK Donkey Press. Super excited for that. Welcome back, Ben.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sarah, for hosting this event and organizing this whole thing. It's super cool to get in on a Wednesday evening. I'm not sure how to follow Morse code from Evan. That is, he should have closed out the final because that was impressive. But as he mentioned, we did release a collaborative chapbook yesterday, myself and the other 2 Evans, who I'm reading in between tonight, which is perfect. And it's 10 poems for free for a PDF, and every single poem is titled "There Has Been a Murder." So I'll open with one of these. There has been a murder. They murdered a service dog. No, a service god. dead in red bedspreads. We knew the canine halo was new. We knew the fingerprints were rhythmic to that of Saturn's rings. No blood was found at the scene of the crime, just an eyeball, a corkscrew, a Bluetooth, and a bat. Wings intact, twitching like sin. This next one is called Mishap Mix Match, which is just kind of like a jumble of words. I've been messing with a manuscript where it's just kind of very lyrical, kind of tongue twisters. Mishap Mix Match. You shaved the pager, razored the parent, warranted the arrest of the jester's best friend. They were to meet at dawn. Now God is hogging the radio and the spatial visor is hiding the laws, crawling in pink pants, dancing in a plaid shawl. I halt when you call my name in reverse. I curse when you pronounce it properly, cowardly, like me. And this next one is called The Costumes and Courage, and it's from the full-length poetry collection that I'm releasing on November 1st through OK Donkey. It's titled No Further Than the End of the Street, and nothing in the book extends beyond a single street, kind of playing off of the film Pleasantville a little bit, as well as the Truman Show. So I guess we're all kind of going back to our old retro film references for this reading. The weddings were plentiful. We attended them all. Most were in our backyard, while others, less lustrous, were held down the street. In one, you were dressed as a pelican. In another, a mother of sun. I was the same. Always the sprained ankle, the rain stick, the townhouse caught in a crowd. Leather pennants regretted making sense. After one wedding, we found ourselves smelling the storm. A praying pilot on our sidewalk, a lost dog licking his boots. This next one is called The Day Winter Died, and I just finished it the other day, and I'm kind of been rattling around in my head, so I'm happy to share it. Very new. The day winter died. I wrote to winter after winter forgot to happen, but winter did not reply. I called winter's customer service with plans to ask about their lack of winter, but winter's customer service was disconnected, redirected me to the audio recording of a snow globe being thrown onto the highway, cracked and bleeding, dripping glitter, bitter rain. And this last and final one that I'll read is also from an old movie, or kind of old, 2008. The film Speed Racer. I've been kind of going through films that I really like that the critics hate, and pulling up like really bad reviews and then using Erasure to turn them into good reviews. So this one for Speed Racer, it was given 1 out of 5 stars from the Tucson Weekly, and I tried to turn it into something positive. With a cast on acid, Speed Racer is the best film that's more than 2 hours long. It's sad, brilliant, something special with this one. The Wound was an experiment, best probably because quiet moments cluster the action. Their technical visual style, that's probably a good thing. It's acid, it's a good time. Bright and bubbly backgrounds. This wizardry has proven a soul. Speed Racer has die-hard art. The plot is corrupt and sweet. Kids today. A fine, high-quality mystery. The film contains many actors looking determined. The best thing is delight, especially antics. An interesting, cool movie. The movie is one of those movies. The movie is one of those films. The theater screen blinking. The light show, interesting. Damn, a movie. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Ben Niespodziany. That was awesome. I'm super thrilled to introduce our next fantastic reader, Evan Nicholls. Evan Nicholls is a poet and collage artist from Virginia. His work appears or is forthcoming in Diagram, Guest House, Hobart, and Had, among others. His chapbook of poems and collages, Holy Smokes, is available from Ghost City Press. Find more of his work at enicholls.com. That's ENICHOLLS.com. Welcome, Evan.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for organizing this. I'm nervous to have to follow so many like amazing people, but yeah, thank you for everything. Yeah, so this was like a really fun R-Chap, like little e-chap book was really fun to put together. I love Ben and Evan. I love you all, but I really love Ben and Evan. So it was a lot of fun to put together. I think Ben mentioned that they're all titled "There Has Been a Murder." So this next poem is called "There Has Been a Murder." Oh God, somebody has murdered the biblically accurate angel. The angel was stabbed in all of its wings and eyes. Crime of the millennium. Heavens to Betsy. Jeez. This next one is also from the e-chat book, and it also features the angel. Why did somebody murder the biblically accurate angel? Some say for the money, others for bragging rights. I believe the death was an argument over property lines. You have a neighbor with a feather on his lawn. So those are both from the e-chat book. This next poem is actually the titular poem of my upcoming project that I've been working on. It's a full length of poems and collages, all new stuff. They're really mainly like shorter poems, which I've been having like a lot of fun writing. A lot of prose poems, but also some lineated stuff. And kind of one of the big things of the book is like poems of premise. So they take like a folk saying or something, and they just change one word in the saying, and that's the title. And then we just go from there. So this one's called Easy Tiger. Didn't change any words, but we got rid of that comma. Yeah, so it's called Easy Tiger. The tiger makes it all so easy. The way it sweeps the woman's house, packs a satsuma for her snack, accounts for the taxes. The way it ambushes need, how it steps the ache out of her back after work, shifting like a moon man or a dressage horse. This tiger is better people than most, the woman thinks. Still, it is shit at being a tiger. The way it obeys all rules of the IRS. And then these next poems are like probably my most recent stuff, which are these like little two-liners. I've been calling them actuallys, and they're just contrary things. They've been a lot of fun. So I'm just gonna read the rest of them, and that'll be it. This one's called Night, and that's Night with a K. Night in an old-fashioned book. I'm actually very apprehensive about getting on the horse. This one's called Eaten by a Tiger. I'm actually really enjoying getting acquainted on a personal level. This one's called The Sharks Smell Blood. I'm actually not the chum. I am the captain's beautiful son. This one's called Nearly Whatever Regardless. I'm actually fairly certain I can turn into that bird rhinos like. And this last one is called Merlin. I've been watching a lot of Merlin, by the way. If you have Netflix, I love it. It's like cheap Doctor Who, but all the historical episodes, and it's like the best thing because those are the ones I like. It's a lot of fun. So I really wrote this poem just because I've been watching Merlin. So this is called Merlin. I'm actually not presently a wizard. I am the fly presently flying into your mouth. And that's it. Thank you all.
That was Evan Nicholls, everyone. Thank you so much. That was thoroughly excellent. Also, big fan of Merlin. I highly recommend Legend of the Seeker if you have ever heard of that. Anyway, so, I'm super thrilled to introduce our next wonderful reader, Amy Wang. Amy Wang is a writer from California. She is a 2020 prose alumnus of the Adroit Journal's Summer Mentorship under Andrew Grace. When not crying over fan fiction, same. You can find her translating Chinese literature, coding, and taking long walks. Please welcome Amy.
Hi everyone. Thank you, like as everyone said, thank you for setting this up. And I have two poems to read today. And the first one is called Triple Sonnet for Guonian. And Guonian is basically like Chinese New Year, but like in Chinese. So that's the concept. Every Chinese New Year, I cram myself into a bed with the bodies of my cousins next to me. All of us hungry for the slow creep of night. Here there are secrets that do not dare to spill themselves like the ink of our hair. We whisper, Aunt Jenny has a boyfriend who already has a wife, and Uncle Richard killed his mother with anger, and Macy doesn't look like her father, but her mother swears they're related by blood. We wrap ourselves in the sheets like plates of roast pork, chicken bloody and stiff with the light of the dinner table. Under the quilt, we scrabble for our own hands, bone clicking against the shoulder for the give of a breath to let go of. Some of us are selfish, and some of us are still dazed with the handfuls of laughter that our aunts had wrung from our lips. We are red and clothed in crab shells, our earlobes fruitful with the smell of bird's nest soup. This is the story they like to tell us as we flee with sleep, that we are rested and full-cheeked and heartless with the want of a man's fingers, that we will never wear white unless it is to get married to an American husband, because to do so is to mourn the life our sisters have forgotten how to live. That we are subject only to the myths we were told as children, and that every other road is a line down our palms, breathless with light and the reflection of a face we no longer recognize. Black-haired, like every piece of the sky that we have left, from beneath the bedroom door, we listen to the sound of our father's breath as they mix old beer with new wine, trying to hear the words slipping from out of our mother's lips as they hide beneath the static of the television, each syllable mounted with pause. In that bedroom, we're nothing more or less than the beloved coin purse of the family, dressed with the steam of the coming year. In the darkness, we turn our faces to the window and whisper about the coming of morning, our eyes shut as if that could keep it away. And then the other poem is, I'll just read it. It's called 3 Weeks Left. 3 weeks left of this summer, and every time I think of it, something goes hard and wet at the back of my throat. Again, I am unprepared for the intensity of the heat, how it lifts everything into a softer approximation. Standing under an awning, listening to the lisp of the shadows in the trees, trying to imitate the forgiveness of their songs. Through the dark valley and the bright skies, open and purpled over with wildness. Tomorrow, beckoning overhead in the light. Your hand waiting for me to take it, and isn't that enough? Your shoulders slipping through the trees with a quietness that is hard to touch, and isn't that enough? Shouldn't I be happy with all that I have already made a home of? The fields, how they thin into wired gold in the afternoon, swept dry of green and blue, pockets of wildflowers blooming open before we pick them. Like a dream seeping through the thin skin of my eyelids, I have relinquished enough about myself to know that this is inevitable, to know your absence will leave me cauterized to touch. Again, I am unprepared for how much I want you to stay. Your face turning to look back at me, and isn't that enough? As if leaving is a kind of act I could ever commit alone. Isn't that enough? Isn't that enough? Thank you.
That was fabulous. Thank you so much, Amy. I'm super thrilled to welcome our final reader for this evening, Bob Sykora. Bob Sykora is the author of the chapbook, I Was Talking About Love, You Are Talking About Geography from Nostrovia in 2016. A graduate of the UMass Boston MFA program, he teaches at community college and co-hosts the Line Break podcast. He can be found online at bobsykora.com and at bob_Sykora_ on Twitter. And that's Bob, BOBSYKORA.com. Please welcome Bob.
Thank you, Sarah. Again, thank you. Thank the Ghost City folks. I think I saw Kevin from Ghost City in the Zoom thing. We don't actually know each other, but I just know his name. So thanks to him. Oh, there he is. Thanks, Kevin. I'm really excited to say, to correct an earlier statement, I hopped on the website to download There Has Been a Murder, And my Microchap is now up and available for download. So I hope you, if you like my poems, will download mine, but also download There's Been a Murder. I love the summer series because it's like such a practice in abundance. Like it's 100% too much, right? It's too much, and that's great. And I think, like we've heard from some of you, it gives a lot of space for kind of experimentation. I know for me, this was an opportunity to get a long piece published that I don't know anywhere else it might fit. Also to try and entice you more. A little sad story. I think my favorite poem I've ever written is in this Microchap book. It was published somewhere else and they went defunct like 3 weeks later, and not just like a little bit defunct, like website vanished. So you could also read that. I'm going to read like 2 parts of this longer poem called Various Other Utopias, which is the name of the Microchap itself. You have to download it if you want the other 3 parts. And without further ado, we're gonna jump into 2 different utopias right now. This is the utopia where there are no people. There are only cats. Just calamity of fur and cuteness. We're climbing up towers made of carpet. We're licking each other clean. We're taking naps in the sunroom all afternoon, drinking milk, knocking over houseplants. We're sashaying away, not looking over our shoulders. There's no need for the old, oops, did I do that? Because everyone else is also a cat and they're all too busy huffing away at snacks or asleep again. I swear we're always sleeping. We're all too busy with dreams to get swept away in some nonsense like love, like history, like utopia, like yada, yada, yada. Have you ever slept right up against the window, the sun hot on your ass? Like the whole damn universe was intent on you feeling safe and comfortable and warm. I tell you, one time I was thinking about the future right there on the window pane, but then the sun got all just right on my ass, like sleeping inside a toaster oven, like being little spoon to the whole galaxy, like I can't even explain it. But that for me was enough. But this is the utopia where there's no history. No one paging through old diaries or sweating hunched over in a library like me at the archives of the Boston Athenaeum, just barely catching a sweat droplet from my forehead, headed for a page 200 years old. Everything here is so stuffy, except for that one guy who casually brings his dog up to the silent floor every morning. But in this utopia, the historian is out of a job. There's nothing in the pages. The vaults have all been emptied. They let you walk inside and hear the echo of just how much we've forgotten. The echo like a voice inside you when you're driving alone towards the ocean with no real direction. The echo like a voice at night when you're 12 and camping with the scouts and you're unsure if you're more afraid of the voice or of waking your father. What's a library even for if we have no history? No one bothered to write this mess down, and on the other side looking in, I can't tell if they're better off in this utopia. If the blank pages of the spineless books give them a freedom I've never known. The empty pages whisper opportunity. The empty pages say go, 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 go. The empty pages say hallelujah. The archives full of echoes. The historian writing histories of the future. There's no story to retell. I'm not sure if it's some sort of cultural amnesia or some law against history books. The utopias all look so muddled through the looking glass. I thought they'd all be crystal clear like snow globes. I thought the utopias would open up something inside me. I thought the utopians had something to tell me, but all afternoon in the Athenaeum, I was paging through books and documents. I was trying to go deeper and deeper into the past. I was trying to be overtaken by an obsession. And around every corner, tucked in the stacks, in the middle of every book, there was a memory of you smiling. There was a love I couldn't hang up. There was a lump in my gut. There was an amethyst in there, deep down, I swear, somewhere sparkling inside me. If I could just capture something in all these old stories, if I could just find the great secret, if the utopians could show me the way, I could mine that old amethyst lump growing stale in my guts. I could smash the rock right there on the big long table in the middle of the silent floor of the library, the August sun lighting up that rock, that purple sparkling. The crash startles all the patrons with their headphones in, and the dog starts barking under the table. Oh boy, it would be out of me. It would be out of my body, and it would be glowing. I would exercise the thing, and for once, I would be marvelous. I could get the hell out of there and forget all this history. I could wipe the smudge out from that snow globe. I could smash the snow globe open on the amethyst and see the little people inside, how they have no history, but they're all still there, rushing around together, picking up the pieces and trying to build something beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bob. That was absolutely wonderful. I really want to say thank you so much, everyone, tonight. This was such a wonderful evening. Everybody had such incredible work. Thank you, Laura, Evan, Ben, Evan, Amy, Bob, for reading your fantastic work tonight. We also want to thank Go City Press again, Kevin Bertolero, Justin Karcher, Jack Bachman, not only for publishing us, but for helping make awesome work accessible by putting a microchap in your inbox every single day this summer. It's bananas and awesome and free. So please check out gocitypress.com to sign up for this really rad series and to donate to all the really stupendous folks that you heard read tonight. Thank you again so much for setting aside the time this evening to indulge in some absolutely wonderful poetry and prose. This has really been such a pleasure, and I have been Sara Matson, so thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Oh, here we go, Steph.
Thank you.